Welcome back, everybody, to Ein Sof Learning. Today, we're going to be reading from Etz Chaim, the Tree of Life, by Rabbi Chaim Vital, the main disciple of the Ari. And we're going to only learn the beginning portion, the very, very beginning, from Shar Aleph, Anaf Aleph, in order to get a taste of what the Etz Chaim is and what it teaches. What was the intention of Rabbi Chaim Vital in writing this book? And on top of that, it will give us the foundation for what's to come later on in the book. Because the beginning of a book represents the keter of the book. So whatever idea is spoken about at the beginning of a book, any book, whether it's the Torah, whether it's a commentary you're reading, the beginning always contains a secret that will reveal to you how to connect the dots as you continue reading. If you fully understand that beginning, it will connect all the dots for what you will later read. And that's true of Etz Chaim as well. So we're going to only read that first beginning part, that most important point that comes at the beginning. And when we dwell on this teaching, which we're going to present in this class, when we understand it, and we see it from all its angles, and we eventually come to feel it and know it on a deep level, we are in effect, learning the Etz Chaim from its very beginning. Just from the very beginning, we're actually learning Etz Chaim by understanding this beginning. So without further ado, let's jump into Heichal Aleph, Shar Rishon, Drosh Igulim V'Yosher V'bo Chamisha Anafim. It is a commentary on the subject of circles and lines. And it contains within it 5 branches. Anaf Aleph, branch 1, Be'inyan Tachlit Akavana Shel Briat HaOlamot. We're going to talk here about the intention of the creation of the worlds. What was the kavana? The intention for which the olamot, the worlds, were created. That's the subject of this class. Neva'er ata bet chakirot. I will now explain to you 2 investigations. Shenitasku bahem ha'mekubalim, that the Kabbalists dealt with. Hachakira harishonahu, ma shechakru hachachamim rishonim ve'achronim. The first investigation is related to what the first Kabbalists, the first Chachamim and the later Chachamim have already investigated. Ledat sibat briat ha'olamot, to know the reason for the creation of the worlds. He's saying that this is a question, this is a subject that the early Chachamim, as well as the later Chachamim, meaning the sages of Israel, both those of past and those who came later, have dealt with this subject. Le'eza sibat haita. For what reason was it? What was the reason for the creation of the worlds? For those of you who are confused why the word world is plural, why is it being referred to in the plural, is because that there are multiple worlds. Surprise. The Chokhmah of Kabbalah teaches that there are multiple worlds, not just one. On a very simple level, you could think about it as, hey, each person is a world. So there's at least 16 million worlds. Or 16 billion, my apologies. There are 16 billion people in the world, something like that. Okay, so there's at least 16 billion worlds. Just to give you an idea of how many worlds exist. But, of course, here we're talking about spiritual worlds, not just a random level of consciousness. Each of us are on a different level of consciousness. But nevertheless, each person contains within their own self the capacity to connect to higher dimensions, the upper worlds, what we call the olamot ha'elyonim, the upper worlds. They're existing in the higher levels, not physically above, but rather spiritually deeper, and within. When a person peers within deep enough, eventually they start tapping into the inner world, or what you might want to refer to as the upper world, given if it's a spiritual world. If your inner world is holy, if your inner world is pure, then you're connecting to the spiritual worlds. You're connecting to the olamot ha'elyonim, the upper spiritual worlds of holiness. So that should resolve for you the question of why it's in the plural here. So the question is not why God created only this world. The question is referring to all worlds. Why was there a desire to create any of the worlds that do exist? For what reason did he create them? And he says here that La'eza sibat hayta v'nimnu v'gamru v'gizru v'omer. They deliberated and they concluded and they decisively said, Ki sibat hadavar haya lefi shehine hu yitbarach mukhrach sheyihyeh shalem b'kol pulatav v'kochotav. That the reason for the whole matter is that hu yitbarach, him, referring to God, but it's referring to him as who? Him. May he be blessed. Must become complete in all actions and powers. In all his actions and in all his powers. His kochot and his peulot. He needs to become complete. Mukhrach sheyihyeh shalem, needs to become whole or complete in all manners of action, in all manners of potential or powers that he contains. We know that Hashem has all power. He's all powerful. Therefore, he's called Baal Kochot Kulam. He's the master of all powers. He represents the all powerful. But he's also got many actions. And those actions are wonders and miracles that he performs. The way he created the world itself represents the wonder of God's actions. And therefore, the reason he created the world, according to the Arizal, in this one sentence, is that he must become complete in all his actions and in all of his powers. In other words, they need to become revealed. And it says here, "V'bekol shmotav shel gedula v'male v'kavod." And as well, not just his actions and his powers, but in all his names. All of his names. Hashem has many names. Yud He Vav He, Elohim, Adonai, El, Shaddai. I can go on and on. And of course, the reason I'm able to say the names of God so casually, for lack of a better word, is because we're not in a casual context. Right now we are in a teaching context. And that, by Sfardim, is actually permitted to speak the names of God, all except the Yud He Vav He. But nevertheless, the names of God are holy and they should not be spoken about casually. We are not speaking about them casually, and that's why we are able to use them in a teaching context. For those who were wondering why I'm saying the names as they appear, because I know we all respect the name of Hashem, and that's a very important thing, to put honor and glory on the name of God. So he must become complete not only in his actions and his powers, but in his names. He wants to be known. He wants his names to be known. His names of Gedula. What are his names of Gedula? That they represent his greatness. Those are the names of God that represent his greatness. And then there's Vimala, his highness. The names that represent his highness. Vikavod, and honor. Those names that represent his honor. He wants those names. Not just that he wants them. The Arizal says, Mukhrach sheyihyeh. He must become He must become revealed in these manners, in all of his actions, all of his powers, and all of his names. ואם לא היה מוציא פעולותיו וכוחותיו לידי פועל ומעשה. And this is not an optional thing. He must, mukhrach, it is an imperative, it is a necessary thing, that hu yitbarach, that God should become complete in his names, his actions, and his powers. And if not so, if he does not become complete, if he does not motzi polotav v'kochatav lidei poel v'maaseh, if he does not bring out his actions and his powers into the actual world, into actualization, if he doesn't bring his powers and his actions and his names out from the realm of concealment into the realm of revelation, lo haya kivyachol nikra shalem. It's as if he cannot be called complete. It's as if God himself cannot be called by the term shalem. But it's as if, kivyachol. Hashem is complete. Hashem is whole. Hashem echad. And there is no doubt in anybody's mind regarding that truth, regarding that imperative, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is complete in all manners of completeness, in all manners of wholeness. He is perfect in all manners of perfection. He is good in all manners of goodness. He is beyond all definitions. He is higher than any world and any understanding or perspective that any angel could ever hope to achieve. He's beyond all grasp and beyond all comprehension. But nevertheless, the Arizal says something perplexing. At least I found it perplexing. He says something that I and no rabbi would ever dare say, dare suggest. That if God is not fully revealed in this world, if his names are not known publicly in this world, and if his actions are not perceived, if his powers are not manifest in this world, then it is as if he himself is not called complete. In other words, God's very desire, his ratzon, his will, necessitates that he should become revealed within this world. It is part of God's will, part of the divine will, that his kochot, pe'ulot, vishmot, that his powers and his actions and his names should become revealed, should be known by his creations. And it is for that reason that he creates the worlds, so as to create the possibility that a person, that a creation should know him and see him and appreciate him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu must become revealed in this world, and he will become revealed, but not without our recognition, not without our participation and our effort to know his names, to learn his names. What is the secret of the Yud Hey Vav Hey? That's what I want to know. More than anything is to know the secret of the Yud Hey Vav Hey. The letter Yud, Hey, Vav, and Hey. Why is that the name of God? The hallmark, the central, the most important, the most popular, the most important name of God is the Yud Ke Vav Ke. The ineffable name of God. Though the one name that Jews are prohibited, and not just Jews, but mankind is forbidden to speak. Forbidden to verbalize. Forbidden to announce. It is asur. It is asur as per the 10 commandments. to say the name of God in a profane way. And the rabbis have deduced and concluded and decreed that a person in exile, as the whole world today is in exile, is in a state of perpetual disconnection, so to speak, until we build the Beit HaMikdash, until we bring our inner third temple and establish Moshiach for ourselves, until we've completed our tikkun in this world. A person is considered being in a state of exile. And during exile, there is a certain quality, that is the quality that makes us unfit to utter the name, the holy name of Yud-Heh Vav-Heh. So therefore, it's forbidden to speak the name of God. If the Jewish people are watching this, if any Jew is watching this right now, my message is primarily for you. Come back to the Beit Knesset. Come back to the Beit Midrash. Put your kippah back on. Put your tzitzit on. Wear tefillin. Keep Shabbat. Eat kosher. Be Jewish. Be you. Be who you are. And come back to the Derech Emet, which this introduction from the Arizal should serve as an inspiration. Because this is the Derech Emet. The Etz Chaim, the tree of life, is the true path. We learn it here. And you can bring it here. It's not some future world. It's not some afterlife. No. You can bring the tree of life, consciousness, down here. You can live in Olam Haba, right here. If only we fix the machshava. If only we can fix our midot. If only we can fix our actions. Those three areas, that's the prerequisite to living in the tree of life consciousness. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next class.